Welcome to this week's episode of Lagnapod. I'm your host, Rob Holbert. Introduce yourselves, folks.
Ashley Trice.
Grant McLaughlin.
Scott Johnson.
Kyle Hamrick.
Tommy Hicks.
Okay, we are here at the Rectangular Round Table. The day after the election, the primary, the runoff. Any surprises, folks? I mean, we had, obviously, there's still several races out there that were not finished with congressional races, but we had the lieutenant governor's race, the primary,
Attorney General,
Secretary of State,
the Senate,
Public Service Commission. We had a number of things. So what was there? A surprise? Was anybody surprised?
I thought Jared Hudson would do better. I actually thought he was going to win.
Were you willing to bet on that? I mean, I felt like that seemed like a a tough one.
Really close to.
It was. I
felt like he stood a good chance too.
I did too. I honestly thought he was going to perform better.
I just thought he had more enthusiasm behind him. Like anyone, when I guess I'll vote for Barry Moore. That's what.
Do you think Barry Moore's new senatorial hair had anything to do with it?
Yeah.
Yes. His new hairdo.
Yeah, I mean, I have to kind of wonder if the stolen valor stuff actually ended up hurting Jared Hudson.
I think it did.
I don't know, not enough to change the outcome, but maybe it just.
I can tell you, it for me
turned some people off. Yeah.
For me personally, it didn't stick. I thought, this is really splitting hairs at this point. I mean, the guy was in the National Guard. He served. I mean, that's really like.
I thought it was a dumb argument in the first place.
It was.
The only person who made it interesting actually was Barry Moore by acting insane about it.
Right.
Yeah.
He did. He made it interesting by running around threatening to sue everybody and filing all sorts of stuff. He did go nuts, and he shouldn't have. But
he should have just come out like, this is nothing.
Yeah.
I served in the Guard. This is what I did. This is where I did basic training. Look at
this helmet I have on right now.
I got some of that.
I'm always ready for deployment.
If he had just,
I'm ready for deployment right now.
That would have just been the better way to handle
that.
I guess it didn't hurt him, so it's fine.
So this is the interesting part to me, and I'm not going to name names, but there were people who are going to probably be statewide office holders who were peddling this stuff very heavily against Barry Moore. Now
he knows it.
Now he will be a U.S. senator. I mean,
until he dies.
With all likelihood, he will be U.S. senator.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's aware of it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be very interesting because there's going to be some real bad blood with some of these folks.
Cue the Taylor Swift.
So anyway, there's going to be some bad blood. I don't know how that's going to work itself out, but I would imagine it's going to come up at some point.
It's going to be a little tense.
I thought the one that did kind of surprise me was the blowout that the lieutenant governor race turned into. I thought John Wall's victory was far bigger than I had imagined it was be, and I really think that raccoon thing.
I think it was Raccoon Gate.
That raccoon hurt him big time. I think
that was a dumb move.
The raccoons are a mighty voting block.
Well, they are.
People love pet raccoons too.
I do. Yeah, I think Wes Allen, his campaign throughout was full of exaggerations and
he was the one who sent out tried to make a big deal over all these people fake illegal
voter
fraud that he said was just rampant.
He couldn't explain it
and wouldn't explain it, and it was it turned out it was one person for just all of it was really everything was really trying to push himself forward. There were accusations that he put his picture, he really used the Secretary of State's office to buy advertising that really pumped him up, and that was. I think that's another accusation that probably landed with him, and I found him kind of just kind of not very. He wasn't very palatable to me personally.
I would just say neither one of them really melted my butter. I was
no. I don't. And
both of those guys were backed by Trump, Wall and Barry Moore. I think the Trump still has some endorsement.
The endorsement probably had a lot to do with it.
I think it still has a little bit of power for some folks.
Sean Sullivan over at FM Talk was making the point to me this past weekend that John Wall is not a butterfly farmer because these are live animals, that he is a rancher. He's a butterfly rancher. He says if they are live critters, you're a rancher.
That sounds a lot
So,
better
I
than a
wonder-
lepidopterist.
I wonder, do you just buy a bunch of caterpillars? Is that was that your seed?
I don't know the trick
I
on the
think so.
butterfly ranching.
He's Butterfly Cowboy.
Yeah,
It'd be a nice band name.
that is a
Butterfly
good band name. You need to
Cowboy.
trademark that one.
There
I
we
like
go.
Butterfly
Quickly.
Cowboy. Maybe just like a bunch of
You
chicks with.
see like a little lasso.
It's got to be a girl.
Instead of a
girl-
lasso, you have a net.
I think it's a girl band. I think I like that with cowboy hats with girl
We gonna
bands.
get them pillars down the trail, man. We're
There
gonna
we
get them
go.
down there.
Anyway, we've kind of fallen off track
all right.
here. The election or that Jim Ziegler won was also a complete rejection of now the two incumbent Public Service Commission guys who were running.
Mean,
Then that
Alabama
was a-
Power better get their dirty tricks.
well, they did get their dirty tricks in. They managed to project what was going to happen, and they've got this now. The addition of all these people to the Public Service Commission, and
well, at least we'll have a couple to,
but
fight back.
This was what was coming, and I guess they saw it, they foresaw it coming, and managed to get the Public Service Commission expanded to try to dilute this. But they lost their two guys. If this if there was not a change, you would have two people on the Public Service Commission who were not these Alabama Power flunkies. So, to put it kindly,
Yeah. For now, anyway.
For now, yeah. Anyway, that was a big one. So there was some interesting stuff. I
thought Catherine Robertson was going to beat Jay Mitchell,
I
and
did
I
too.
don't think he did himself any favors with all that goofy. What
Take
was
your
it?
butt back to Baghdad and whatever. Yeah.
And
his-
yourself back to Baghdad.
And his ties to Uzbekistan.
Yes.
Which
think that
which everyone
turned
had
some
to
people
Google
off.
to find where in that.
Argument about he was the guy that was bringing it to Uzbekistan.
And
they
he
hated
was going to
him.
blast
They
the
hated him.
illegal aliens into an electric chair or
Right.
something.
He's going to blast them.
He loves Jesus.
I do think
After he murders them, he loves Jesus.
he'll convert them before he
That's
murders
key.
them.
That's key.
I do think it was a bad day for horrific advertising.
Yeah.
I do think that those particularly Wes Allen and Jay Mitchell, their ad campaigns were abysmally
I really
bad.
wonder
And
if it's DC based political consultants are like, this is going to play so good in Alabama. Those rednecks are going
I
to
don't
eat
know.
this up. We'll kill those immigrants. I
don't know.
I feel like
why are
that's
the DC? Why are they like country people? Well, they sound like they're like old Western
Well, because
folks.
they're making fun of us.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got you. They sound like there's
that
some.
was my slimy DC consultant
They-
making fun
It's
of
a good
us.
song.
Your
Virginia side.
DC consultant sounds like a corrupt judge from the Old West to me. But anyway,
Well, I'll work on that one.
yeah, you got to get
I
working
thought-
on
Stay
that.
in your lane.
I
You gotta work
thought
on
it-
that.
I'm the
I thought it
voices
was
and
a
sound
I thought it was
effects.
a very nice sound effect.
Thank you,
because
Kyle.
I could see them there
Yeah.
with their
Well.
spittoons and all.
Arr.
But there's spittoons. We'll get them boys. Anyway,
Poing.
so that's over for now. We still have some congressional stuff coming up, but and then
And
of
if
course
the turnout was so great for
that
7.9%
also-
in
yeah,
Mobile
that was-
County,
that
I don't
was
know what
something-
was it statewide. Do we know?
that was-
But
It was about like 10 or 12%, I think I saw in the Secretary of State. It was not
Abysmal.
great.
I-
It was not good.
I think it is really one thing to really just to consider the fact that 96 point something percent of the people in this county didn't care enough to go vote, and that's of the registered voters. This is not of just.
I mean,
all
I
people.
understand there was only one Democratic on
Yeah,
the ballot.
the Senate.
And then I'm sure a lot of people just say, what does it matter? They're all the same on the Republican side,
I'm just saying,
but
it's still-
but no, I think
it
you
is-
go to vote every single
It
time.
is
Yeah.
it is a problem. I mean, when you have that level of disinterest, it is just sort of like it feels like the process is really damaged at this point. That people are so disinterested in it and feel so disconnected from it that they're just not going to come. I mean, it's 93, 92%. We had 7%, so it was 92 point something percent
Yeah.
that did not
Yeah.
vote.
Now,
That's crazy.
I will say, to play the devil's advocate here, I talked with probate judge Mark Irwin
Yes.
last night at the end of their tallying, and he was saying that, yes, it is low, but it's not uncommon for it to be around that it's not uncommon for it to be that low during statewide race runoffs,
Right.
runoff years.
It's-
So I feel like the true test of the electorate's resolve will be in November, whenever recall come back.
I don't know. I mean, those races aren't going to be competitive for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is a very Republican state. I mean, most of those people who won yesterday are going to be in office.
Yeah.
It pretty much was decided.
I mean, pretty much all of them,
Yeah.
I think, will be in office. I don't know.
I mean,
but-
even if with this, I mean, there will certainly be people who go out and vote Democratic just to make a statement, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
still, it's going to be even if you have a huge influx.
well,
It's still going to be hard to. I mean, it's just the numbers. It's just
the Doug
looking at the
Jones-
numbers of Republicans
Yeah.
versus Democrats in the state.
Yeah, the
So-
Doug Jones versus Tommy Tuberville race will be the marquee race in that election, and we'll see where it goes from that point, because there's still a long way to go between now and then. And Scott, you've been working very hard on the Tommy Tuberville thing since we last got together here.
Can't even remember what we talked about
Yeah,
last
I
week.
know. It's hard
so
to
much has
believe.
happened.
There has been a lot that's
the
happened.
hearing.
So the hearing has taken
the,
place.
the Sunday hearing.
Yeah, Sunday at 2:00, they started a residency hearing up in Birmingham. It took about an hour to get through the arguments, took about another hour for them to deliberate, and they came out with a 7-page decision ready to go, declaring that Tommy Tuberville has proven his residency.
This was a surprise, right?
I don't know about surprise, but I think it's what everyone was
It is
expecting.
more or less like as surprising as the sun
I
coming up
would
in
have
the
bet
morning,
on that
right?
one.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's
Maybe. What were the Kalshi odds on that? I
yeah,
should have checked.
that's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they'd probably eat lunch. So yeah, I mean, it is. That is, air quotes, over at this point from the standpoint of the Alabama GOP.
Yeah. He is going to be their candidate. He is reaffirmed, and he's going to be on the one who's they're pushing forward, and he's going to be representing the Republicans. So
Yeah.
So really, the only thing is if Doug Jones, which we know someone either Doug Jones or a voter on his behalf will be filing a suit. We know that's coming.
yes.
So that the only thing that will change this is if this gets in front of a judge.
Yeah, and so there's a couple of routes. Like you could do a challenge the results of the election, which is a lot harder.
Yeah.
I think that from what my understanding, there's going to be a citizens lawsuit that's going to ask for a jury trial, which would be really interesting. So,
So then you're going to have an issue of whether there's
A jury
standing,
trial?
and
Wow.
there's they're going to have standing. You're going to do all
Yeah.
those things. It's
Yeah.
that's going to be fascinating.
Yep.
Because that it changes all of this stuff that you've been working so hard on, the tax returns and homestead exemptions and all of that. It changes when because it's your domicile, right? And that's where you live, really. I mean, and he has already said, I spend 2 weekends a month in Auburn. I mean, I spend 2 weekends a month in our hunting camp. Do I live up in Gilbert Town now?
right.
I mean,
you sure do.
Am I a Choctaw
you sure
County
do.
resident? yeah,
the Algop decision actually
that was my country
did a really
voice.
they did a really good job laying out kind of the state standard for residency. One of the interesting points that it lays out is that when there's a contest, the former residency actually there's a evidential favor toward the former residency.
Yeah.
So of course, the Republicans are going to be claiming that is Auburn.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if the people who are arguing against Tuberville's residency will say, well, actually, he never abandoned Florida, and I'm wondering if that's where it hinges on.
Well, there were some interesting things in the ruling that I think did narrow all of this. Tuberville's camp had been sort of trying to make this case that it was non-consecutive years that could count, and that they shot that down.
Yeah,
So-
that's something Tuberville has been kind of floating around ever since 2017. Where he
Right.
briefly entered and entertained a governor's race, whereas they were playing around with this legal theory that constitutional 7 years didn't actually mean consecutive. It could because he had all these years as coaching
Right.
back in 20
Right.
years ago, that actually counted. And but the decision on Sunday by Algop clearly referenced the November 2019 threshold.
Right.
So that is an interesting point. I don't know, that I'm sure Tuberville's camp can still try and claim all that. I just think it's diluted that the Algop has used that threshold.
Right, I agree. And that it really still, to me, it all hinges on 2019. Those tax returns that claim in 2019 that he made in Alabama that his adjusted gross income here was $11,806, which is a very low number for a guy who's made millions and millions of dollars, even just a few years before that.
Yeah.
That seems like a very strange number.
Yep.
I think it's going to hinge on whether they ever get his federal taxes or not, whether they're able to subpoena his federal tax and get that and look at it and see what he paid that year in federal tax versus what he claimed on that Alabama form.
And there might be a strategy here where the process is the strategy. Maybe the goal isn't even actually to succeed. Maybe it's just to throw enough flack that you get a Roy Moore 2.0, where people just decide then they're not going to come out.
Maybe, but that's a tough one. I think that I really honestly it could probably backfire. By the time everybody is, by the time we get to November, there may be a lot of people in the electorate sick and tired of hearing about. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people sick and tired of hearing about it already, and I'm sick and tired of talking about it. But it's, I'm sure by November there's going to be a lot of Republican voters who are just like, leave the man alone. He is our guy.
I know. What I hear more is, well, I'm never voting for Doug Jones over. So I guess I'm just gonna. I don't like it, but I'm gonna. That's what I hear from Republicans who are just like, look, I get it. I don't like that I don't really like that this is our candidate, but there's no way I'm voting for Doug Jones. So I don't know how I don't think in this political climate that we are in nationwide, I don't see how you flip those people. I just don't.
No, I mean you got if you have. I mean, if it gets down to that, you're going to have Trump down here, telling everybody you need to vote for Tuberville. It's going to get the base fired up.
I really hope what this will do to our legislatures in this state is that it may take a constitutional amendment, but which is just a referendum, but just they codify what residency is at this point.
It would be nice.
Because this is just so stupid. I mean, once again, I don't need to see any tax returns or whatever. I do not. That is his game day house.
Yeah,
that's his game day house.
Look, just change the time frame. I mean, 7 years is a long time. I mean, that is a long time. There's not 7 years for any other.
But just a couple to have these rules and then just give your own rules the finger. It's just gross.
Well, it is, and it's stupid, and it's like just change the rules. Then I mean, legislatively say we're going to make it.
We need to make it so any Alabama adjacent celebrity can come run for office. So let's make this.
We're shipping in Charles Barkley back from Arizona. Let's go.
Well, this is. I know people get really wound up about this and think that we're reporting on this because we want to see Doug Jones win or George Soros paid us to do it or whatever it is. And
that check has not cleared.
It has not cleared.
Is he still alive?
He ain't writing that check lately. I don't know. He may be dead. But no, I mean, the reality is this is I've said a bunch of times this is what the media gets left to do these jobs because the state won't do the job. They should set up some sort of just office of you live here, residency determination office.
Or just
I don't
make
know,
it
but
the same as it is for Congress, where it really just doesn't matter,
right? Or make it or take that away so it's not a big deal. So don't make it something that has to turn into a big deal.
Right.
If it's the same as Congress or whatever, then we're not sitting around writing about this. It's like, okay, he's lived in Florida the whole time.
Once again, to the people who are going to comment, what about Shamari figures? The rules are different.
Yeah. And Shamari owns a $500,000 house out in Cambridge.
Yeah.
I've looked it up.
Lives
it's
in
really easy. Take 5 seconds and look it up. If you don't think he has a home here, he does.
It's easy.
But
it's not a single bathroom home on Church Street.
But and also just remember this. We didn't raise any hell about when Tuberville ran for U.S. Senate because the rules were different.
Yes.
Because the rules are totally different. So this is the thing. It's like these rules are the rules that are in place, and if they don't like them, change them. But I think that would make a lot of sense.
I think that if this does go to a jury trial, they should have it at the Tequila Mockingbird Courthouse in Monroe.
Oh, I'm all
would
for
be-
that.
That would be
That
nice.
would be incredible.
That would be
We
nice.
can have some lane cake afterwards.
Yeah.
We sure
We'll have
could.
an AI Gregory Peck show up.
Yeah.
Who
All
gets to
right.
be Boo Radley?
Yeah. I don't know.
Tommy Hicks.
Yeah, Tommy's ready for it. All right, we're going to take a quick break and speak to Boo Radley Hicks. We'll be right back. And we're back. So we had the announcement yesterday that everybody knew was going to be the announcement. Yeah.
Kind of like we knew what the outcome was going to be at Sunday's meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we knew what was going to happen, and we now have the name of our hockey team, which is
The Mysticks.
the Mobile Mystics are back.
The Mystics.
My sticks.
My stick.
Yes. Mobile Mystics are back.
Yeah. Everyone who showed up to the ceremony wearing their Mystics gear was very glad to hear that their team is
Yes.
going to be the Mystics.
My dreams of the Azalea Trailblades
Did they say
had-
like him
went
in
up in
came in
flames.
second place or what?
They-
what other
they-
things were on the table?
They did not go into those details.
Mm.
They didn't go into that. They
Mascots.
really wanted the Mystics.
Yes.
Maybe they could have an offshoot of
Azalea Trailblade mascot.
could
Yes.
be.
Could be.
The
Trailblade.
Yes.
girls'
Like that.
youth league
Or-
a roller derby.
Or they could just have the actual Azalea Trailmaids go out there and skate, and they could become the Azalea
Trailblades.
Trailblades for that evening.
I like
I
that.
still want to
Lots of
scream.
ideas
I
here.
like it.
Free ideas, Mystics.
Thank you.
I do
These
think
ideas are
we
free.
need to start. I mean, because the Leprechauns were another fan favorite, and I
Yeah.
still think we can incorporate "I want the goal."
I want
every
the
time.
goal.
I want the goal.
Yeah.
Give me
Where the
the
goal at? Where the
Yeah,
goal
We
at?
should go to the game and
goal?
cheer
Yeah,
that.
when they're behind, the
I want
announcer
the
should be
goal.
like, "Where the goal at?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where the goal
that's
at?
it.
I
yeah.
want the goal.
That's
That-
incredible.
Yeah, I think that should be something.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that.
But anyway, so we got
That
that.
marketing department has nothing to do.
This is
because
free.
we've already
Yeah,
cleared
this
it.
is free. Fire the marketing department. Play this. You got
just
this.
call
Yeah,
us.
This
We'll
is
do
it. You've got it. Okay.
Take out a big ad every week, and we'll take care of the marketing.
So that was not an exciting thing, more or less. I mean, we're exciting, but not surprising. I should
Not
say
surprising.
not that it's not exciting. It's exciting. We're excited to have the team back. I'm fired up about some hockey, but we have other sports. There are other things happening. Yes.
Oh yeah, a couple of other things happened. Last night, in particular, since we're on that road, the Mobile Sports Hall of Fame inducted their new members.
Yes.
Derek Coleman, Derek Burrows, Joe Nyland, Eric Yelding. Good class. 3 guys are all first-round draft picks in their particular sport, and then Joe Nyland has been the head coach and winningest head coach at Spring Hill,
Yep.
second winningest in Mobile, so pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But it was also the football preview for the First Light Community's annual football preview, and you had head coach of Alabama, Auburn, and South Alabama in the same building at the same time. That's pretty rare. I mean, you had Kalen DeBoer here, you had new Auburn head coach Alec Golish, and you had Major Applewhite.
Okay.
So that's in one place for
Seems
the
like
city.
that should be illegal. Like
Yeah.
they have like a designated survivor.
Designated
Yeah.
survivor.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe they
That's
should have
it.
a cage match.
One of these football coaches should always be in a basement somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the
Yes.
funniest thing that happened was Major got up there first, and he was asked about NIL money and all of this stuff, and he said, well, you said there's one level
We ain't that.
that is Neiman
Yeah.
Marcus,
Right. Yeah.
He said there's another level that's Dillard's.
Yeah.
We're the Salvation Army.
That's
And said,
Ouch.
we just have no money. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't have any. We have no money. So,
Well,
you want to come play football, and no one else is willing to give you anything.
hey,
Welcome.
we'll give you a pat on the back and a yes, sir. We'd
We-
love
yeah.
to have you
Yeah.
here.
Get you some coupons to Mellow Mushroom across the street.
Yeah.
We can work out something
Some
with
coupons.
Fusackley.
Yeah.
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 Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's that's an interesting night. You had those guys done, and then we've got some news on the Super All-State for
Super
the
All-State, the
softball.
Alabama Sports Writers Association released their Super All-State softball and baseball teams yesterday. We had 3 on the softball team. Katie King from Orange Beach, who's going to Arkansas. She is on there. M.K. McMullen, who is a sophomore at Orange Beach, pitcher. She made the team. And so did Miley Dobbins, a pitcher from Saraland, who's going to play at the University of Mobile. What was interesting was we had 0. Now, there's a 10-player thing. I mean, you got to be
right. You got to be really good.
You got to be really good to make the list. There's a 10-player list, but we had 0 entries from our area on the baseball team, which is
very unusual.
Kind of surprised by very unusual.
Yeah.
Usually we have 1 or 2, sometimes 3 on that.
Sounds rigged. Sounds like it was rigged.
Yeah, it was rigged.
Yeah. Anyway,
isn't that what we're supposed to say now?
Russian
Elections
interference.
don't go our way.
It was rigged.
It's the Russians.
And then you had a really nice story this week about a gentleman and his history with golf.
Yeah, Jim Fisher of Fairhope. He's 90 years old. He is the only member of Shinnecock Hills Golf Club where the U.S. Open is being played this week from Alabama.
Okay.
Which is kind of interesting. That is not a place where you can apply for membership.
Yeah.
You have to be invited in.
Yes.
And his membership went through Ed Sullivan, of all people.
The
Yes.
entertainer, the
Topo
show host,
The
Gijo?
TV guy. You're all right here, Lawrence. Yeah.
That's a nice. That's
That's
Ed Sullivan.
incredible.
That's good.
Well,
That's
I'm
good.
old enough to
From
remember
a
Ed Sullivan.
20-something-year-old who
Grant
should
Sullivan.
have no memory.
Grant
of it.
wants to know
Topo
who Ed Sullivan is.
I was
Gijo
talking
has
about
helped this guy?
Tommy's impression was good. Kyle's was just noise over the top. I don't know.
Well, I just can't believe he had some Topo Gijo in on this.
Yeah, well,
I don't know what that means.
That's
He-
the
Kyle
mouse.
should
That's
know
the
it.
mouse from
One of
Ed
his-
Sullivan.
favorite guest.
Okay.
That's the puppet.
He's a
mouse.
time
Go
traveler.
get back in your time machine and shut up. Okay.
But anyway, he was a great amateur golfer. He was a Spring Hill guy. He grew up in New Rochelle, New York, and said he wanted to play college golf in the South so he could play year round.
Yeah.
But it had to be like a Jesuit school. Well, you had like 2 choices: Loyola,
Yep.
New Orleans, or Spring Hill. And he said Loyola didn't have a golf course, so that pretty much eliminated it for him. He's a Spring Hill guy.
That reminds me of this weird story that was told.
I got to hear this.
And it is weird. So the guy who wrote the song "Wild Thing," Chip Taylor, was at Spring Hill because he wanted to be in golf course management. So he came to Spring Hill, and he went to a semester of school at Spring Hill because of the golf course. But here's the kicker. His actual last name is Voight. He is the brother of the actor John Voight.
Wow.
Yes. So there you go. That's
some
today's
trivia.
Sounds
weird
like cover
trivia.
story.
Yeah.
That's it.
We've missed it.
Sounds like a good one. Well, that's your cover story is fantastic. It's a great story about this gentleman, and it's a fun read. Well, thanks a lot, Tommy. We will take a quick break, folks, and come back and talk a little bit more. And we are back. So, Kyle, you have the cover story this week, which is pretty fascinating. We've gotten a couple calls in the last week from people who called us and said, or I did, had people call me and say, "Hey, do you have any idea what's going on at the dog track?" And I was like, "I don't think there's anything going on at the dog track, is there?" And they're like, "No, there's a lot going on at the dog track." So we sent you out there. I gave you $3
with a couple bucks.
$3.
Yeah.
It was $3,
It
not
was
$2.
$3. It
Don't
was
try to
$3.
shortchange me. And we did. And honestly, I was stupid. We didn't have any sort of agreement when you went out there that we'd at least share in the winnings. But you went out there and looked around and played some of the new games out there.
That's right.
What
Well,
did you see?
first off, there's no winnings to be shared.
Right.
These
So you say.
these new machines they've got out there. They're these video. They look like slot machines. That's key. They look
very much like
they
slot
look
machines,
like
yes.
And they've got probably 50 of these things out there. The grass is high on the dog track. Folks ain't coming there to bet on the puppies.
Well, the
They're
dogs
coming.
haven't been running for some time. So
That's
people
true.
it has been an off-track betting place for some
Right.
time, for several years now.
Right.
And you go out there, it's, as they say, parimutuel betting. You've got,
Yeah.
which basically means that
It's like
some of the money
a
is shared
pool.
with the
Yes.
it's shared with
Yeah.
the city and state and county, et cetera. But people go out there and they vote on horse races that are taking place elsewhere.
That's right. But these machines,
now-
these machines operate on historical horse races that have already been run and you don't see
My
the horse
my
race.
head still
Question.
swims
Yes.
from that. Yeah.
But,
Yes.
but if you're playing this machine, you have no idea.
You have no idea that you're playing
the
on
only thing that's
horse
on
races.
this machine is like a little horse in the corner.
There
running.
is a small GIF of a jockey on horseback bouncing up and down that
So
lets you
you
know
just
it's
feel
a
like you're
historical
at a
horse
slot
race
machine. If
Do you-
you're,
It
So
looks like a slot
so do
machine.
you not
It spins
actually-
like a slot machine. You
But
press the button
but apparently there's
it's not a
old
slot
horse
machine.
footage in the back of it. You can't see
that you can't
Do
see.
Do you actually see a race going on, or you just see some kind of?
There's a little symbol that says it's a historical horse race
Right.
machine, and I couldn't see a horse race going on any of these things.
Yeah.
It just looked like straight up slot machine.
So tell me
And they've
how
got
this
all of
is
these things
happened.
out there.
Well,
Yeah,
tell
how
me
is
how
this
this.
legal?
How is
Because
it
it just
legal?
seems like
How did this
gambling.
occur?
So
Because it seems like we got a
Wind Creek-
casino. We got a casino
it
out
seems
there.
like that,
and it's
It
not
seems
even on
like
the
that.
boat.
Yeah.
We're going to the
It's-
boat.
We going to the boat. No, it seems like a casino. It's owned by Wind Creek, which is
Right.
owned by the Porch Panda Creek
Right.
Indians. They own the casinos in Atmore, and this is legal because slot machines, which run on chance, are illegal. But
Right.
these do not run on chance. These run on historical horse race data, which makes them cool under state law.
You know I'm having a stroke right now from this explanation.
You don't
I
look.
know.
You don't look like it.
It doesn't make any
but
sense to me. But anyway,
yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
It's a
the
loophole.
law.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's a very
And the
legally.
state legislature
Yeah.
can't figure out any of this, but this is fine.
I mean,
You know?
this
Yeah.
goes back to the I mean, I'm not more power to PCI. I don't care.
I don't
this
care
is fine.
either. But
I'm not against them doing this at all. It's fine. I just once again like, can we just quit pretending that we don't have casinos in this state, or we shouldn't have casinos, or just open it up, do something to have a casino, so we
and
can
you
have.
can bet on Coliseum Poly
So-
Market, but you can't bet on
so we can have
FanDuels or whatever. You know?
I mean, so we can have a
Can't play a
casino
normal slot
downtown
machine.
or do something like that. We
Yeah.
did, but right now, so this is what's going on out there.
Yeah, there was 100 people in the parking lot in the middle of Wednesday of
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
week,
Yeah.
and they were. I mean, there were a few people who came to play the horse races in other parts of the country, but everybody in there, almost everybody, was playing these machines.
How many oxygen tanks and
I saw
walking chair-
one person with an oxygen tank in there.
That's required by law at any
That's-
sort of
there-
at
there
any
has
slot,
to be.
any bank of slot machines
There
must
has
have
to
one
be.
person.
There has to be there.
But so,
it was
Well,
packed.
I'm sorry. But go ahead.
no, well, I was just going to say, where is this going? Where I know that when you talked with people about it, that
Yeah.
they said, "Hey, there are plans for the future." That's
right.
What's going
That's
on?
right. So Wind Creek didn't go into specifics on those plans, other than they have them for the future. They have gradually rolled these slot machines out since last spring. Talked to some state reps who said that they're going to do some renovations, some upgrades to the facility, which hasn't really been touched
I
since
say the building's a little
70s.
down at the heels. I mean, it's a little rough. I mean,
I think we're going to have our Orlando Christmas party there.
I mean,
Yeah.
I look. I a couple of years ago, I mean, one of my birthdays, I was like, let's go out. I want to go out and bet on the dogs, and we'll eat dinner there, because that used to be a place to like have.
They apparently
dinner.
had great crab claws.
They apparently did. Well, and
And-
that's when I found out they don't run dogs out there anymore, and they don't have dinner.
I think they have
Now
a
they've
hot
got food
dog
now.
at the
Yeah.
concession
Yeah,
stand.
they've got a
Connected
concession
dog,
stand there. Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
have some wings you can get.
Well,
too.
I did find it interesting, though, Kyle, when you called both the Mobile County Sheriff's Office and the district attorney. They were both like, yeah, no, we're not commenting on this.
They did
on
not
the
want to
legality
comment
of it.
other than to say
Yeah.
it is legal. They didn't want to
Yes.
to explain how it is legal. They just said it's fine.
Yeah. So,
Period.
Nothing to see here.
I mean, one of the people who contacted me was somewhat outraged by it. I mean, it's sort of this. Although, I mean, it wasn't from the standpoint of this person doesn't believe in gambling, and just was outraged by the concept that they could do this without. Whereas, if you did this downtown and you put some horse racing machines in there, you'd probably
Yeah.
get busted.
That's
but,
right.
That was sort of his complaint. But
Yeah.
I think it goes back again to just the whole concept of,
can the
if we're-
legislature do their
can
job?
we just get this gambling thing done? And I mean, it looks like PCI is just sort of saying, if they're not going to get it done, we're just going to start doing this to a degree. And I mean, You know, so I mean, people,
what's to stop them from buying buildings all over the state and doing this? They'd have a building right downtown. I mean, don't they still own
the Press Register,
the old Press
the
Register
old one?
building?
Yeah.
I wish they'd put one down there to have something to do at lunch. Anyway, get one of those connector dogs.
Get you
anyway. All right, and then the last one of the week here, we have a very strange ice cream related meltdown. So what happened there, Grant?
Well, the owner of the local scoop in Bay Minette, Mallory Goldman, found a person who left some negative comments about her business, some bad reviews.
Got a bad Yelp review or whatever.
Yeah, yes. And so she like allegedly tracked him down, and at a gas station where he was like filling up or going in the store to buy something, she asked if he could talk to her, and he, I think idiotically agreed.
She asked to talk to him.
Yes.
Okay.
She asked to talk to him because she did not like the reviews that he left. He had complained about the service being slow and them giving him the wrong scoops of ice cream.
Got you. The real heartbreakers.
And then she...
So but he recorded her in this process,
so,
right?
Yeah. So, he says, well, you got to meet me down at the shrimp basket because I got to go pick up an order.
Of course, yeah.
And she's like...
As one does.
Meet me at the shrimp basket, woman.
Yeah.
We'll settle this.
They get there, and, the whole thing lasts for like 20, 25 minutes, but he starts recording when she starts getting like really in his face.
Yes.
And yeah, she uses some choice words, some of which is featured appropriately in our news article.
About it?
He was he was melting. He was absolutely melting. And some of the workers came out of the shrimp basket and called the police,
and they quit immediately because they couldn't work there
they started
anymore.
recording her too, apparently. And I mean, just a few days later, she's getting put in jail.
So long and short of this is this woman and her husband who showed up.
Oh my God! Wait, can I actually say the funniest line of the whole argument?
Please.
So her husband jumps out of the truck, gets in his face, asking, "Why are you saying all these things about me?" And we don't know what at all he had said, and she keeps telling him to call her husband daddy.
Yes, she wants this Yelp reviewer guy to call her husband daddy.
Yeah, she said that like 3 times in a row, and then she smacks his phone out of his hands.
It's so the fallout from this, obviously, the ice cream scoop lady and her husband daddy got arrested or were being arrested, whatever.
Yeah,
but there was more fallout.
There was.
She lost her supply.
So her only supplier is Cammie's Dutch, and by the way, huge fan of Cammie's Dutch. It basically brought me to Mobile.
Right. Well, we have that to thank. Anyway, but yeah, She makes ice cream for a ton of people.
Yeah,
Cammie makes ice cream for a lot of places. Yes, it's
and
amazing.
So I talked to her. I'm actually surprised she even spoke to us because she posted on Facebook announcing that she was no longer going to be serving this business, and that she took the Facebook post down because of it was getting so much online traction.
Yeah.
And then when I talked to her, she just said, everything that Mallory Goldman said in that video was just too much. I asked, is there anything particular that she said that just made you want to, cut the contract or whatever it was? And she said, no, I just think it was all of it, start to finish.
Well, one thing we know about all this is running an ice cream shop can be a rocky road. It's difficult. It's difficult. And we're going to leave on that note. We're out for this week. Thanks for listening, folks. Y'all come back next Thursday. Bye.
The Lacnapod is a Something Extra publishing production. Executive producers are Rob Holbert and Ashley Trice. Music is by Some Pulse Sounds and Electro Animals. Only subscribers like you have access to this podcast. Tell your friends they can sign up at my.lanyapmobile.com. For advertising opportunities, please call 251-450-4466.